Yo, what is going on, ladies, gentlemen, and whatever else you choose to identify as? It is your boy Cam from Tweeking Media, doing a little bit something different for the new year. So we have alluded to this person, if you've been a real one listening to all of our previous podcasts on Attack on Culture or Threes from the Rings. We've talked about this person a lot, giving us recommendations for games and what we're going to be talking about if you clicked on this video, movies. But this is a long time friend of the channel, the homie Benos. Go ahead, say what's up, hi to the people.
Yo, what's up? It's me, Thenos. Yeah, they've talked about me a couple of times on the podcast here and there, and I'm glad to finally be here and talk about some of my favorite movies from the last year.
Yeah. So again, welcome to the channel. This is not going to be the first time he's on here, so get used to hearing his voice. We was dealing with some shenanigans with StreamYards, so you'll be able to see his face at a later time, but for now you'll have to deal with this. Is what it is. So before we get into the actual topic of the video, which is going over, because 2025 was an amazing, incredible year for movies. If anybody says anything different, they're most likely a grifter, and you probably shouldn't be supporting them. But before we get into that, be sure to like the video, comment, subscribe to the channel if you have not. Click on that bell icon to be notified of all future posts that we drop on this channel, and share this video across all of your fellow movie-going fans. Help us get to 1K sub, guys. That is our goal for 2026. Again, thank you so much for the tremendous support you guys have been showing us throughout 2025, and let's keep the support going strong in 2026 as we keep the content even stronger. So before we get into our actual top 10 list, there's some honorable mentions. The theme of this video that I really want to cover is that I really want to emphasize that there was a lot of great films that came out last year, not just within the top 10 vicinity, but just throughout the year. Me and Benos, we were conversating before we started this podcast episode. We're just like, man, it was just so many great films. It was a struggle for me to put stuff in my top 10 list because I wanted to give a nod to everything that I really saw in throughout the theaters in 2025. So for those who are watching, let us know right now in the comment sections down below, what were start with your honorable mentions. What are some movies that you can't quite give the nod to the top 10 list, but some movies that you saw that you think are worth talking about? And then give us your top 10 movies for 2025. So we'll start with honorable mentions, right? And I'll try to be quick about this. There may be some overlap here and there because me and Benos, we have similar tastes when it comes to movies. So in cases like that, I will kind of give you just a little, whoever has a much more higher position of the movie will go a little bit more in depth as to why they feel the movie is higher. But for the lower part, we'll just kind of give a brief synopsis of things, especially when it comes to honorable mentions. I tend to yap a lot. Y'all already know if y'all watch these podcast episodes. So I'll try to be quick with my honorable mentions because I got a lot of them. Again, I want to emphasize just how great 2025 was as far as movies. So I'll start with the first honorable mention going to K-pop Demon Hunters. This was the first Netflix exclusive movie that Sony gave to them. Later on, it did have a theatrical release. I think it was like a sing-along event, and I'm pretty sure they made bank because I remember going to the theaters in December, I think, to see Now You See Me, Now You Don't. And I saw a bunch of kids and their parents dressed up as Rumi and the other demon hunters and having a blast. So shout out to that. But at first, I was not sold on this movie. I was kind of like, I'm not really cool on that. But this was a Benos recommendation. Benos was like, hey, check the movie out. So during my flight to Japan, it was a 13-hour flight, so I had to have some stuff to do. I downloaded it on Netflix and I watched it, and it was a great movie. Great characters, good plot, great song selections. A lot of it is still stuck in my head to this day. The My Little Soda Pop, that is stuck in my head rent free. So definitely shout out to Demon Hunters. Definitely enjoy that. My second honorable mention goes to One of Them Days. This is the Keke Palmer and SZA movie that came out earlier this week. I went and saw it with my mom. A lot of people kind of equate it to like the female Friday. Hilarious movie. For this to be kind of SZA's big debut acting role, she absolutely knocked it out of the park, and her chemistry with Keke Palmer was great. So I highly recommend it if you need something funny to watch. It was a great film in that regards. My third honorable mention goes to Thunderbolts. This is the MCU is slowly restoring the feeling, in my opinion, after the hot basura trash that was phase 4. Phase 5 has been kicking it up. We got 3 Marvel movies this year, and I thought all 3 of them were great, with one of them being in my actual top 10 list, 2 of them being in my honorable mentions, with Thunderbolts being one of them. Great film. I didn't have a lot of expectations for this film going in, but I really like that this was a more character driven film. Obviously, they're not humans with guns aren't doing anything to Sentry, so I like that it was a lot more character driven. Yelena was a great character in the film. I think that overall, if you are someone who was a fan of these side characters and their respective MCU movies throughout, their tenure in the cinematic universe, I think they do them justice in this movie, and I can't wait to see them in future projects. Captain America: Brave New World. I know you probably listened to a lot of grifters out there saying movie bad, and it's most likely they are racist bigots being movies bad because black man. Even though Sam Wilson has been Captain America in the comic for about, I think, 18 years, so it's nothing new.
My Captain America isn't black.
right. So if you do have valid criticisms about the movie that isn't just a simple Captain America black equals bad, then I can respect that. But for the most part, I thought it was good. Now, if you ask me honestly, where do I have the movie in my rankings? As far as Captain America films, it's probably my least favorite one. I think Captain America 2, Winter Soldier, is still the best Captain America movie, hands down. And I technically, I don't qualify Captain America 3 as a Captain America movie. It's an Avengers movie. I just feel like they put Captain America on the title because of contract reasons. And Captain America 1 was solid. So yeah, it's my least favorite Captain America movie, but I still think it was a solid film overall. Running Man. So I don't know how many movies I only saw 2 Stephen King films this year. I don't know if there's a lot more this year. We will talk about the other one in our top 10 list, but Running Man was one that I was looking forward to. Gwen Powell is becoming one of my new favorite movie stars to watch. He just has natural charisma, and he knows how to play like a certain character archetype well. So I was looking forward to this movie. I like it. Has a lot of funny social commentary in regards to like the class system and the overall state of the American economy, which, I mean, we're starting to see that in the real world. But it's still a great film, great action, some funny moments, and I think it's overall just a good time. My other one goes to Predator: Badlands. I'm not a Predators fan like that. I don't know a lot about the Predator lore. A lot of these films too, just to put another disclaimer out there, me and Benos actually saw these together because within our friend group, me and Benos are like the movie people. So a lot of films we would just invite all the guys out to go see a film, or it would just be me and him. We would just go like, hey, this looks like a cool movie. Want to go see it? I bet. And this is one of those films. I thoroughly enjoyed the movie. Again, I don't know how the general Predators fan base is treating this movie. I kind of don't care. But I like the movie. So go out and see it if you haven't. Nobody 2. This is a sequel to the first Nobody. I first saw this on Amazon Prime. The first Nobody on Prime. And then when I heard it was getting a sequel, I was very excited for it. This is what I like to call a John Wick-like movie. There was a lot of John Wick-like movies that came out this year. But they were all really good, all solid. If they're not in my honorable mentions, they're in my top 10 list. And Nobody 2, I think, deserves the nod. It was a great film. Very, very funny, very clever action scenes, gruesome action scenes. So if you're a fan of that, I highly recommend you check it out. Karate Kid Legends. This is another film that kind of slipped under my radar until I saw trailers of it. Really like this movie. The new character that they introduced in this movie, I think he's a great addition to the franchise. I kind of like the legacy of establishing not only karate but kung fu with Jackie Chan's character and also Johnny. I forgot the actual actor's name, but them kind of interlapping and creating the whole Miyagi-Do principle. Good film, great action as well. A lot of good action scenes that really emphasize the tools, the dual style of karate and kung fu and the Miyagi-Do style. And I know that Cobra Kai ended on Netflix, but if they ever decide to do more with the Karate Kid franchise, I would love to see some of the cast members from Cobra Kai and this new kid collaborate and do some cool stuff. I think that would be pretty cool. So yeah, definitely recommend to see that movie. Other honorable mention is Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning. I don't know if this is going to be the final Mission Impossible movie. It sure seemed like it, the way they set it up, but Tom Cruise likes doing stunts, so who knows? But I think it was solid. The reason why it doesn't quite get on that top 10 list for me is because I think the first one, because this is part 2 of the final arc of Mission Impossible. I enjoyed the first film of this a little bit better. I think the mystery and the stakes they set up were just a little bit more better than what the second film did, but it was still an enjoyable watch in the theater, so I still highly recommend it. My other one, Fight or Flight. This was a surprise one. This is one of those surprise hitters. I saw a trailer for it and I was like, let me go ahead and see what's to this movie. And I really like this. This is another John Wick like movie. This is very similar to Bullet Train too. So if you're a big fan of Bullet Train, highly recommend you see this movie. Premise is very similar, where you have a bunch of assassins, but instead of them being on a train, they're on a plane. A lot of gruesome action scenes. There's a particular action scene that involves a chainsaw, and it's really good. So highly recommend that movie as well. The Amateur is another John Wick like movie, but this time the premise is, what if John Wick was a noob, a total beginner, didn't know how to kill nobody, was just a nerd? And basically same premise, where not same pillar, but like his wife got killed to some conspiracy things, and he kind of has to navigate getting revenge, but he's not a killer. He's a geek. So essentially it's just very clever ways that a nerd could be a killer. So I like it. It was a good, solid film. And then last but not least, I know I've been rambling a lot, so after I'm done with this, I will pass it on to Benos to give his honorable mentions. Now You See Me, Now You Don't. This is the third film of the Now You See Me film franchise, and it's not the last one, because spoiler alert, they set up that there's going to be more films in this franchise, which I'm not mad at. I think these are very clever and very entertaining movies. The whole premise of them kind of setting up the magic trick and not only deceiving the people in the film, but kind of deceiving the audience, and then going back and going like, oh no, this is how the trick worked, by explaining how everything worked at the end. I think it's a great premise. This particular movie kind of bringing back a lot of the cast from the first and the second movie, and the new cast of characters. They all have great chemistry. There's some funny moments. I think the overall plot was solid, and the magic tricks that they showcased in the film were great. So if you have not seen it, the series, I definitely recommend watching Now You See Me 1 and 2, and then watch 3, and I think it'll be a great watch. So those are all my honorable mentions, but you're probably going like, dang, Cam, that's a lot of honorable mentions. Yeah, I saw a lot of movies last year. So I want to make sure that I am pointing this out because there's a lot, there's this really bad faith argument going around, quote unquote movie critics, that 2025 was a bad year for film. And it's like, no, either one, you're just trying to grift, or two, you don't watch movies. So there you have it. Also want to put this disclaimer out too before Bino starts in, before we even get into our top 10 list. As you can see in my name title, right, pointed in the wrong direction, I'm not a movie critic. I will never claim to be a movie critic. I'm someone who goes out and watches movies to enjoy them. So whenever I talk about films, I'm talking about them from the perspective of, I paid $20 to go see it in movies, and this is how I feel about the movie. I'm not gonna super analyze character mode. Like, that's not my job. I'm not getting paid for it yet. I'm just gonna tell you how I feel as a moviegoer person. So I just want to put that disclaimer out. And now, Benos, take the floor. What are your honorable mentions for 2025?
Yeah, well, before I get into my honorable mentions, I want to double down on your statement of, I'm also not a movie critic. I am just an enjoyer. I go to watch movies to have fun. So if you guys don't agree with my honorable mentions or anything I say on my top 10 in the future, I'm sorry. I just go to have fun and have a smile on my face when I watch a movie at the end of the day. But to get into my honorable mentions, because mine is also decently long and I don't want to take too much time either. First one on my list is Megan 2.0. I thought that was a really funny movie. If you like the first Megan, then I think you're going to really enjoy this movie. Teeter on the edge of being a little too long, but I really don't care. The comedy was there. Megan was a great character. The action was great. I have no real complaints about that movie. It's just not good enough, unfortunately, for me to make my top 10. Next one on my list, this might be a little controversial, who knows, but Jurassic World Rebirth, I really enjoyed that movie. I thought the dinosaurs looked really good. Scarlett Johansson was great in that movie. I enjoyed her character. I also enjoyed Mahershala Ali's character a lot. Didn't really care for the family in that movie, but I really did like Scarlett and Mahershala Ali's group a lot in that movie. Next on my list would be Niza 2. That kind of just snuck its way into my honorable mentions.
I heard good things about that movie.
It was a good movie. Action was really good. It is a kids movie at the end of the day, so you're gonna have a lot of the stereotypical kids, farts, not jokes that's gonna be in the movie. But if you know what you're getting yourself into, you're gonna have a good time with the movie. The action was really good. Characters was good. Plot was good. Yeah. Another one for me was Sisu 2. That also just snuck its way in there last minute. Just watched the first one, then I ended up watching the second one. Action was really action. That was one of them John Wick likes. That's like the action is really good. There was a scene in the movie, without spoiling too much, where he was fighting two people in an airplane, and the way he took down those two airplanes was really cool. Another one, my next honorable mention is going to be the live action How to Train Your Dragon movie. If you're a big How to Train Your Dragons fan, you're going to enjoy this movie. If you're not a bigot, you're going to enjoy this movie.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about that.
It's just live action How to Train Your Dragon, and they did a really good job, in my opinion, of the score, like adapting the score into the live action. The dragons and the CGI looked really good. I thought all the actors did a good job of adapting the characters that they're supposed to be playing. I had no real complaints about that movie, to be honest. It's just How to Train Your Dragon, but in live action. And then last movie on my honorable mention is going to be Companion. That was a really good movie. I just started getting into a lot of Sophie Thatcher's work, so that's how I ended up getting into that movie. I like the movie. It also has I don't know his name, but the guy who plays Huey in The Boys, he's also in that movie.
Oh, okay. Because I was like, you had to remind me. That was the one. We watched this in the Discord.
Okay. Yeah, we did. And then and then another actor I like was in that movie. The guy who plays Guillermo in the What We Do in the Shadows show on Hulu. Good cast, funny movie. It's one of those like new age comedy horror, like thriller type movies. So yeah, if you like those kind of movies, then you'll like Companion. And
it's like Ex Machina but comedy, basically.
Yeah, Ex Machina but comedy, basically. Yeah, exactly. You also have some honorable mentions. I'm not gonna touch too much on to not repeat anything, but you have some honorable mentions. I just want to say people should go see Thunderbolts. Of course, people should go see One of Them Days. Completely forgot that even came out. I thought that was a 2024 movie until you just brought it up. And I want to throw some. I want to give some credit towards The Amateur. You really put me on to The Amateur, Cam.
Yes, really good film.
Yeah,
all right.
That's it. Honorable mention. So. Yeah.
All right, cool. So those are our honorable mentions. Let us know if you agree. Let us know if there's some add-ons, and let us know if some of those are in your top 10 list. We want to know that stuff in the comment sections down below. So moving on, we will now get started with our top 10 list. So again, opinions. So if there is something where you're like, what? That's your number 1 or that's your number 5, and how come you're number 6 since you're number 2? Tough luck. I don't know. I don't know what to say, man. This is our opinion. These are movies that we saw that in this, again, We're not critics. We're just two dudes on the internet.
Yeah.
So
And
again, you should never take our you should never hold our opinion as like the word of God or the absolute stone tablet truth. There is no room for discussion or top conversations. This is just it's movies at the end of the day. Don't take it too seriously.
and you just want to have fun when watching movies. And also, a lot of good movies came out last year. So unfortunately, it's like some stuff we have to put to the side to that just didn't make the top 10 because it's only 10 movies we can put on the list, unfortunately.
It is what it is. So we'll start. I'll start. Then Beanos will go. So I'll give my number 10. Beanos will give his number 10, and we'll keep going until we get to our number 1, and we'll end things off with that. So number 10, I have as Love Hurts. So this is a bit funny because this is technically a Valentine's film and I'm single as hell. So but it's more of it's not like your Hallmark movie or something like that. It is an action romantic comedy. This is also starring I can't pronounce his name like that, but Ki Hua Kwan. If I'm mispronouncing that, I apologize. But he was absolutely fantastic main character. The action in this movie was so good. A lot of great use of the environmental details. The one scene, I believe, that takes place in his house, because it's essentially just a brief summary of the film. Essentially, the main character, he is kind of a retired hitman. Essentially, he used to be this like feared within his group, because it was him and his brother. They ran this kind of gang, and he was like the hitman. He went out and killed a bunch of people, so he was known. One day he gets an assignment in regards to this girl, but he ends up falling in love with her. And so in order to ensure that the girl, survives, he kind of fakes her death, and then he kind of runaways from the life, and he wants to start a new life. He doesn't want to be an assassin anymore. He doesn't want to hurt people anymore. He doesn't want to be that monster. But your past always catches up to you, and he kind of reunites with his girl and has to protect her from his brother's organization, who still seeks to kill her due to money reasons. So that's just a brief synopsis of the film. Again, really solid. If you're somebody who is a fan, if you're like me and you're in that weird situation where it's like, this is a Valentine's film, so you should be watching this with your significant other, but you can kind of cope your way to saying, I'm here for the action, then I think it's well worth it. It is a great film to see with your shorty or your partner, whoever you have a relationship with. It's just a great film in general. It definitely snuck up on me too, because this wasn't a movie that was in my radar for 2025. But when I saw the trailers, I'm an action buff guy too. I just love, especially like kung fu, like more hand-to-hand combat stuff. I'm always a fan of that. Don't get me wrong, I like my shoot 'em ups, like the John Wicks, but sometimes you just want to see people throw hands, and this movie does that very well. So that's why I think that Love Hurts is also one of the first films I saw. This came out in February, and it's still stuck in my head, in 2026. So the fact that I can remember the film and I can remember it well for what it did, it deserves to be on my list in the number 10 slot. So Love Hurts, great film. And Beanos, take it away.
what's funny about, before I get to my 10, what's funny about Love Hurts is I'm the guy in the relationship, and I didn't even go see that for Valentine's Day. I definitely have to check that movie out when
definitely recommend it.
Yeah. But for my number 10, I have Ballerina. I know that seems a little low, but I really like the movie, and everything else above it is just better in my opinion. But Ballerina is more John Wick, and you can't go wrong with more John Wick. I like the main character. I forgot the actress's name, so I really do apologize about that. There's a lot of great action scenes. There's a really cool scene towards the end of the movie where she has a flamethrower and she's fighting another dude with a flamethrower. It's like watching a Pokemon battle almost. I thought that was really I didn't look at any trailers, like posters for this movie. So when I saw Norman Reedus in this movie, that was a really big shock and surprise for me. I was happy to see him in this. I like his character a lot. Yeah, it's more John Wick. You can't go wrong with more John Wick.
Yep. So moving on to number 9. So Benos literally just said it. Ballerina for me as well. Now, I am a huge John Wick fan, like huge. I have all of the movies on Blu-ray. I still have to get Ballerina on Blu-ray. It is it's in my top 3 of favorite film franchises of all time. I absolutely love it. Yeah, you can degrade it to mindless action or whatever, but I don't care. It's a good film. It's great action. And sometimes I just want to turn my brain off and watch people's brains blow up. It is what it is. So if this was me being like super biased, right, then this would probably be my number 1 film of the year. But so many great films came out. And while I do love Ballerina, just like Bino said, the main actress does a phenomenal job. Action scenes are tense. There's the one of my favorite action scenes was the one that takes place in the actual weapon shop. And you even see the scene in the trailer where she tosses the grenade and puts the door onto the dude and it blows up. Gruesome, really good. She is someone who I feel she's not as professional as John Wick. John Wick has a lot of he's clean kills, right? But she's more finesse to him. She's more gruesome. She's more she's a lot more much more aggressive when it comes to how she takes on people, because they establish early in the film, like, hey, you're a female at the end of the day. So, you got to fight like a female. If you're going up against a dude, kick him in the nuts, do what you got to do to kill him. So she's a lot more aggressive in that sense. And I think that's good. It separates her from just being female John Wick. She's more than that, in my opinion. And even the movie doing John Wick extremely great justice with the scene that she when she confronts him, and John Wick just babies her, has multiple opportunities to kill her, and he's just like, look, you're not on my level yet. Do what you got to do. I'm gonna give you a time limit, and if you don't do it, I gotta kill you. So again, just from the perspective of a John Wick fan, I think this film was just great. It was solid. There's just a few things in the movie that I do believe that just doesn't give it the nod, because if I'm looking at it in terms of my overall list of all the John Wick movies, it's not in my favorites, but it is still a great film. It's still a great addition to the franchise, and I'm hoping to see more of her, and even some of the rumored stuff like Mr. Nobody or any of the other characters that will get their own movies one day. I think they could do a lot with this universe besides just John Wick. So Ballerina, I think, was a great action film, great addition to the John Wick series, and definitely deserves a place on this list. Benos, what's your number 9?
My number 9 is going to be Weapons. I think Weapons was a phenomenal movie. I love how like every 20 or so minutes the movie shifts to a different person's perspective. I know a lot of people didn't really like that part about the movie, but I thought that was really nice to see how different things will end up connecting, and just seeing like how everybody is viewing the events of like what's going on in the movie. There was a really, really chilling scene in the movie where Julia Garner's character is like in a car because she's getting like so if you don't know the premise of Weapons, a bunch of kids and Julia Garner's kids goes missing except for one, and she's getting blamed by the town. The police know she didn't do it, but the town blames her for like all of these kids going missing, and she's trying to like talk to the one kid who ended up not going missing, and so she's camping outside of his house at night, and she fell asleep in her car drunk, and like this kid's mom, obviously being taken over by the main villain of the movie, like walks out the house, and like it's really creepy because she has a pair of scissors in her hand. The scene is quiet, you don't hear anything, and she tries to open the driver's side door, that's locked, so she just disappears as she's walking around the car. You never see her like enter the car, but you just hear the back door open. I didn't see this in theaters, but Kelly saw it in theaters, and from what I heard, a lot of people gasped and like screamed in that moment because you just hear the back door open, but you don't actually see her opening the door, so it's kind of creepy. Really love the movie. The ending of the movie was pretty crazy, just like when I eventually get to the next movie on my list, also another crazy ending, but really crazy ending to the movie. Recommend it. If you're a horror movie fan, I think it is a must-see for 2025 horror movies.
Oh, good, yeah. If you guys know me on the podcast, I'm a punk. I can't do horror movies. I can't do horror movies, but because I watch a lot of movie, reviewers, and when Weapons came out, a lot of people were talking about how great the film was. So definitely shout out to that. So we are on to number 8. So number 8, I'll be a little bit brief with this because this is a movie that both of us have on our list. We have F1, the movie. So a bit of premise of this. I absolutely loved Gran Turismo. The video game adaptation that came out, I believe, was it like 2023, Bino? So it was what, 2?
It was 2024, I think, actually.
2024?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, it probably was 2024. Really great film, really great video game adaptation. Well, I say that, but I haven't really played any of the Gran Turismo games, so I can't definitively say that. But I will say that as someone who went to go see the movie, it was a great movie. This is another movie that me and Beanos, we saw together in IMAX. So we saw it, big screen, great audio design, and it was great. It was a great film. I will say, similar to what Bino said in an early movie, it does teeter on being a little bit too long. There are some parts that I do think they could have cut back, particularly I think the scene when Brad Pitt's character also gets injured. I feel like that whole part was like, we could have probably did without that. But the drama was good. The character development between Brad Pitt's character and I forgot the actor who plays the kind of his rival / partner. Great chemistry. The actual race scenes themselves, kind of putting you in the cockpit of like what it feels like to be a driver driving that fast in these high intense races. A lot of it was really good, solid, and it just makes me kind of want more of these movies, more movies like similar to Gran Turismo and F1 to kind of. I'm not someone who's going to go out and see an actual like NASCAR or F1 race in real life, but the movie going experience for these type of films, there is a lot of potential there. And I think that this film definitely highlights a future in these type of genre of movies. So F1, great film, highly recommended if you're into racing films.
All right. And then for me, my number 8 is going to be Begonia. I didn't really know what to expect from this movie. I just kept hearing the movie has a crazy ending, like all of like whispers about the ending all over the internet and in my friend group, but I didn't know like what to expect. But then I watched it. It is a little bit of a slow burn, so if you don't like slow burns, you might not like this movie. But I promise you, the ending is worth it. The ending makes that whole movie from like a 7.5 out of 10 to me to like an easy 9 out of 10. But I'm not going to spoil it for people who potentially want to go watch that movie because they would just ruin the whole movie if I talk about the ending too much. But just know the ending makes the whole movie worth it. And also, it's Emma Stone, and you can't go wrong with casting Emma Stone.
Can't go wrong with Emma Stone.
Can't go wrong with it. And in the movie, unfortunately, once again, if you're going to see this as a trend with me, I don't know about the actors' names, but the guy who the other main character guy, he does a really great job in the movie. If you're big into conspiracy theories and stuff like that, you're gonna like this movie. Yeah, that's Begonia for me.
All right, so we are now on to number 7. So my number 7 goes to The Accountant 2. This is another film that I had originally saw. I saw the first film on Amazon Prime. My mom actually put me onto this movie because she saw the movie and she was like, "Oh, you like John Wick, you like these type of action movies, you should see The Accountant." So I saw it. Basically John Wick, but he's like this neurodivergent, very smart person, very particular about things. But when push comes to shove, he will pull a bullet in your head and do it effectively. and I thoroughly enjoyed the first movie. And when I saw that the sequel was coming out this year or last year, I was like, okay, I'm in. And they brought in the guy who played, just like Beanos, I'm terrible at actors' names, so I apologize in advance. But the guy who plays Punisher in the Netflix Punisher series, great guy. Great chemistry between him and Ben Affleck's character. Them being brothers. The action in the movie was solid. It was a great premise of the movie as far as dealing with a lot of things, especially in this current political climate when it comes to a lot of things regarding immigration. So I think they kind of tackle that well, and also highlighting a lot of things when it comes to the neurodivergent community and just how it's not a disability, it's an enhancement. These kids are freaking smart. That scene where they show all these kids just like hacking and doing all that stuff, and then also Ben Affleck's character just kicking butt every step of the way. It's just a great feels. It's weird to call it a feels good movie, but it was a feels good movie to me. Like I was smiling the whole way through. The comedy was on point, the action was on point, and I think it was a great sequel to the original film. So if you have not, if you're a fan of John Wick, you have to see this movie. You have to see it. Accountant 1, I think, is still on Prime, and I believe Accountant 2 is on Prime as well. Yep, they're both on Prime Video, so I highly recommend you see those two movies. Won't be disappointed. So that's it for my number 7. So on to you, Beanos.
Before I get into my number 7, I just like to say you really put me on with Accountant 1 and 2, so thank you for telling me to watch those, because they were really good movies. And I would also just like to touch on the fact that I think they do a good job of touching on the autism spectrum and showing that there's a lot more to people with autism, and how we should just honestly treat them like any other normal person, and that there is, like you said, it's not really it's not a disability. It can be an enhancement, and we should have much more of a focus on it, in my opinion, in just today's current political climate. But let's not get too political with this list.
They're not ready. A lot of people aren't ready for these conversations, unfortunately.
Yeah. But my number 7, and I'm talking about not wanting to get too political, but my number 7 is One Battle After Another. I think that movie does a phenomenal job at showing it is a bit extreme in like what today's political climate is like. But in all honesty, like as I was watching that movie, I'm like, I can see us ending up in this bad timeline where this movie is if stuff doesn't get any better in this country and where we are right now. I think Tiana Taylor did a great job. Shout out to her for winning the Golden Globe for Best Supporting Actress for this movie, by the way. I also like Leonardo DiCaprio in this movie. I'm not really the biggest fan of him, but I did like him a lot in this movie. I also like the girl who played Willa. I just think it's a really great movie. I think it's a good movie touching on how the world is actually like, well, not the world, but America is today.
Yeah, agreed 100%. And I'll be talking about that a little bit more because it's also on my list as well. So moving on to number 6 on the list. So I have, let me see, just to double check, I have Fantastic Four. By default, this is the best live action Fantastic Four movie we've gotten. It is a low bar. The bar is in hell. But hey, you still cleared it. This was a film that Beanos and our friend group, we went out to go see this in theaters. We saw it in IMAX. So again, high quality sound and presentation. So really great. Again, like I said, the MCU is slowly restoring the feeling. I do believe that I had to do a little bit deep dive when I was coming up with this list. I do think this is the best MCU movie of last year. I really, really enjoyed it. I think, again, depending on who you see, depending on the type of people that you see talk about this movie, a lot of grifting is involved. I don't know why all of a sudden Pedro Pascal has become public enemy number 1 But it's actually crazy how many people were like, "Oh no, I think he's gonna be a terrible Reed Richards," and he was great Reed Richards. I think the chemistry was there. This feels like a very solid cast for the MCU's Fantastic Four. Overall, I liked everybody played a pivotal role in that movie. I think in regards to the whole Fantastic Four family, I do like the way they introduced Galactus into this particular movie, especially in regards to his last one, which is Rise of the Silver Surfer, which he was just a puff cloud.
Which was trash. Puff cloud Galactus.
Yeah. And again, a lot of grifting. The female Silver Surfer was great. She's in the comics. She's great. And so, and the funny thing is, people who complained about that just not realizing that this Fantastic Four takes place in a different multiverse, takes place on a different Earth. So if you want to kind of save the male Silver Surfer for a future movie, which you can, since the Fantastic Four, shout out to all the Doomsday trailers that are coming out. They're going to be in Doomsday. So they're going to be coming to, the primary MCU Earth. So you can still do a lot of stuff in regards to stuff, especially Galactus, because obviously we all knew they were not beating Galactus at all. But the way they did it in the film was smart. The introduction to Doom and the after credit scene was solid. I'm looking forward to seeing how much hell he is going to raise for the MCU when his movie drops in December. But it's just an overall, in my opinion, a solid MCU film, solid superhero film. If you're a fan of the Fantastic Four, they do them justice. If you're like me and you lost a lot of faith in the MCU in Phase 4, these movies are restoring the feeling. So Fantastic Four definitely deserve a spot on my top 10 list. And go ahead and give us yours, Pinos.
All right, for my next one, we're gonna have. Give me a second, put my list back up. Yeah, we're gonna have Avatar: Fire and Ash as my number 6. This makes my list not because the plot is great or because this is a great main character or anything like that. I think James Cameron does a phenomenal job with one. The CGI is phenomenal in this movie. You look like you can reach into the screen and physically touch everything that is like on your screen. Like,
did you see this in IMAX, Beanos, for like the Mac experience? I
didn't see it in IMAX, but I saw it in like the Prime AMC theater, but whatever,
okay.
Yeah. So it was still like a good screen and whatnot. And the way, like, because the last movie came out in 2023, and this is only like 2 years in between compared to like between 1 and 2, and the way the graphics somehow still got 10 times better from the second movie to the third movie. I think he did a really great job with that. We got to check up on those VFX workers and make sure they see in their families. But
right.
And I like how he crafted a world that I can get attached to. I do like the world of Pandora. I like all the creatures. There's a lot of deep lore when it comes to the Avatar franchise, and I am a big lore guy when it comes to movies. So yeah, I like how this movie added on a lot to to Awa, their god on Pandora, and I like how this movie explores the people's connection with that finally, or not finally, but a lot deeper. Yeah, I like this movie a lot. It's a beautiful movie to go to watch. It is a great world, and yeah, I don't really have much more to say about this movie other than that.
Okay, awesome. So, and thankfully we have a positive representation, because if you know me, I hate the Avatar movies.
And I don't blame you, because like, our main character is not a good main character. The message of the movie is a very white-centered view on colonization, racism, and discrimination. You don't go watch Avatar expecting a great plot or great characters or any. Well, there are some great characters in the movie, but you go see this for the beauty and the scale and all of that. You don't go for the plot.
Yeah, agree. And that's just me being mean Cam. I can totally respect anybody who does enjoy the films because they are absolutely gorgeous. Like there's just no, I can't, even my hating self can't say like, oh no, the movies are ugly. No, like I can't say that. But yeah, so that is our number 6. Our number 5, me and Beanos have the same number 5. So our number 5 is Chainsaw Man, the Chainsaw Man movie Reza arc. Once again, shout out to Demon Slayer. I say this as a joke. Shout out to Demon Slayer for ruining anime. So just to give a little bit, I'll go into a little bit more detail what I mean by that, because so people don't get too bad. It's like, oh, you hate demons? No. What I'm saying is that there's a lot of sides to this, but it does suck if you're somebody who doesn't like to, because so you're somebody who just doesn't like to go into movies. You don't care about the movie theater experience. You're somebody who watched season 1 of Chainsaw Man. You really enjoyed it. And now they're telling you, hey, if you want to see, because this is canon, there's a difference between like, you have like some of the Dragon Ball movies or even the My Hero movies in the past, like where it's, you know, this is something extra as someone who enjoys a particular series, where it's like, it's non-canon, but it's all in good fun. If you want to see it, you can. If you don't, you're not missing out on anything. This is one of those situations where, again, you watch season 1 of Chainsaw Man, you really enjoyed it, and you're like, okay, where's season 2 of Chainsaw Man? Well, it's out in theaters, so you got to go see it in theaters. And that kind of sucks if you're somebody who does, because again, the movie going experience is not for everybody, and nobody should be forced to go to the movies to watch something that is integral to something that they enjoy. And because of the success of Demon Slayer Mugen Train, when that movie came out and was like the number 1 highest grossing film in Japan and made them a bunch of money, these other anime studios said, bet, I'm gonna do the same thing. So unfortunately, this is just the reality that we're in. It sucks, but that's not to take away from the actual film itself. I think Chainsaw Man was a great film. Hopefully MAPPA employees are getting treated a lot more better, but they don't fail to deliver when it comes to animation. This movie is fantastic. Even the music, the OST is really solid. The action scenes are great. Again, like my only critique of the film is that the first half of it does drag on a little bit too long. The first half, there are a lot of sections. I like to call them Oscar bait. It feels like they're trying a little bit too hard. Now, again, I understand the first half is to establish Denji and the relationship between Reze. I have no problem with that, but there's just certain scenes where it's just like, you're trying a little bit too hard. And as someone who read the manga, it ain't that deep, you know what I'm saying? But once that second half kicks in, Reze transforms into the Bomb Devil. Just straight peak from there. It's so good. Everything is solid. I saw that, again, another disclaimer I like to make too is I saw this film in dub because I went to go see this movie with my mom. And if you want another disclaimer from me, I don't care. Dub or sub, it does not matter. I just want to watch the sub. If you want my opinion, both of y'all are cringe. Sub elitist, you guys are cringe. Dub elitist, y'all are cringe too. Y'all are two sides of the same coin. Both of y'all are annoying to me. I am somebody who just enjoys watching anime. So if I have to watch it and it's only available in sub, guess what? I'm gonna put my reading glasses on. I'm gonna read. And if I can only watch it in dub, don't care. I just want to watch the show. So that's my whole thoughts on it. But the dub was really great. Again, fantastic action, and Studio MAPPA kills it as always. So if you are someone who is reserved, I would just say maybe wait until, because it'll eventually release on Crunchyroll or whatever streaming service it comes out on. Or if you want to sail the high seas, I'm not encouraging it. I'm just saying if you do, go. You know what I'm saying? I think it's a worthwhile watch. So that's my opinion on Chainsaw Man. Beanos, you can give your thoughts on it as well.
I really like the Chainsaw Man movie. I'm a big turn my brain off kind of guy when it comes to shonen anyways. But before I get into that, I really do agree with you on Mugen Train opened up a Pandora's box that should have never been opened up to begin with. When Mugen Train first came out, I was like, okay, that's cool because this is a short arc, and why waste time making a whole 12 episode arc series on it? I'm like, fine. But then a bunch of other animes started doing it, and now here we are in modern day where a bunch of animes are now releasing their arcs into movies and putting them in theaters, and that really does something for the people who don't want to go to a theater to watch a movie, especially for the Demon Slayer crowd and the people who pay like $8 to $12 a month for Crunchyroll to watch Demon Slayer or any other anime, and now they have to pay $15 to $20 to go see the movie in theaters, which I think that sucks. But not to drag too much on to beat on the dead horse, because you already got into that a lot. I contrast to you, I really do like the first half of the movie. I think it I don't see the Oscar baity. I mean, I guess I can see it a little bit, especially with like the scene where Makima and Denji go to the movies a lot. That part of the movie really drags on for me. I get why they had it drag on, and to set up stuff that happens and things that really play out towards the end of the movie.
Right.
But once Reze turns into the Bomb Devil, it's just nonstop action. The movie doesn't hold your hand with it. Like it's just gonna keep on going, and it's not gonna stop giving you action. And I really enjoy that. I really enjoy the music. It really helps hype up like how I feel like the music helps hype up the scale on which this battle is happening. Like you see the destruction that's happening to this district of Japan that the fight is taking place in. What else can I get into that you haven't really mentioned, I guess? The swimming pool scene. I like how they handled that. I like that they didn't make that scene Gunner bait.
Yeah.
They could have easily made that like Gunner bait, but they didn't. You can tell Reze is naked. You can see the outline of her body, but you don't see details. And I like that they didn't put details into that. I think that because it just would have been weird also because she's like, what, 16, 17 years old?
She's supposed to be a high school student. Obviously, the whole like, oh, but she's 1,000 years old. Yeah, but she's supposed to look like a high school student.
Yeah, so I like that they put respect into that scene and didn't make it super fucking weird to watch, especially as a grown adult. You kind of touched on most of the stuff. I think that's really positive about this movie, and I don't want to be too much on a dead horse about this.
Right, yeah. So that's our number 5, Chainsaw Man. And that's not our last anime movie on the list. You guys already probably know what's going to be, but moving on.
Movie on the list, to be honest.
Oh yeah, I didn't see that.
Yeah, I will give my thoughts on that when you get into your thoughts on it. I briefly.
Okay, I'm looking forward to it. So, we are moving on to our number 4. So, Minos touched on this in his earlier list, but my number 4 is One Battle After Another. Again, not to go too much into his talking points, because I do agree with a lot of things that he said. I think this film is really great. It's a lot of social commentary, a lot of relevant social commentary that often we don't talk about, especially in regards to, again, some of the things in terms of immigration, race, just the overall treatment of how the government sets up things. Just a lot of really great moments in this film. I think the relationship between Leonardo DiCaprio and the daughter character was very solid. His main motivation was just her safety. Like at first he was all about the revolution and blah, 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 blah. But then once his kid entered into his life, it started being about building a better world for the, like, to borrow Expedition 33, for those who come after, right? Yeah. And I think that obviously, there's still a lot of messed up stuff that happens in regards to just the overall political climate and in terms of like what the government does in that movie. But I do think like the overall message is, in my opinion, is just, even in this messed up situation, how can we do stuff to set up things well for the next generation? And even if we don't achieve that, we can have the next generation carry on the torch, because that's what happens at the end of the film. She becomes that figure of like, okay, I'm gonna keep fighting for change. And I think that was a great way to end off the film. I think all the characters are great, even the mom, even though like great character, but terrible mom. Like horrible mom, terrible mom. But again, it was purposeful in how they set up a lot of things in the future between Leonardo DiCaprio and his daughter. So definitely a really great film. I think movies like this have a great place in film, because even though I'm not necessarily saying that, it's going to move the needle in terms of things happening in our real world political climate, it's still a good way to kind of look at something and go like, okay, I can see real world applications, and it does suck that like you see it on an exaggerated scale, but you still see that like there are people out there that are in positions in terms of Hollywood, or even that understand and recognize these things and are trying to find ways to cleverly combat or say, hey, this sucks, we need change. And I think One Battle After Another does that very well. So that is my number 4. And Beanos, what is your number 4?
My number 4 will be, let me get back to my list because I was just looking at yours, is going to be the F1 movie. I was a huge fan. Once again, I don't know anything about the F1 games. I don't know anything about the real sport, but I was a huge fan of the Gran Turismo movie. I know that's not F1, but it's still racing, and I'm not a Gran Turismo player or anything like that either. But that movie, I have to give shout out to that movie, because that movie is the reason I was even interested in wanting to watch F1 to begin with. I think F1, just like that movie, has a lot of really great characters. I really enjoyed what is his name? He played Franklin Saint in Snowfall. I enjoyed his character a lot, and I like his arc he went through from being this like young, cocky rookie who really has no wins under his belt, to be honest, to being this like he humbled himself by the end of the movie, and I like the journey he went on. I like Brad Pitt character a lot. Same kind of journey that the young one went through, but I don't want to say in reverse, but he humbled himself also by the end of the movie as well.
Yep.
I thought there was a lot of great racing in the movie. I know I saw a lot of discourse online about a lot of like actual F1 enjoyers, people who watch the sport in real life, saying that this wasn't really the most realistic depiction of the movie. For someone who doesn't watch the sport, I don't care. It was enjoying. It was a very enjoyable movie. It was very enjoyable watching Brad Pitt break all these rules, and I'm just sitting there like, it's no one gonna call him out on that, but I don't care. It was funny watching him break all these rules just to help his teammate get ahead in a race. Yep. What's her name? Carrie Condon. She played the. Is it Irish? Right, Cam? She was, or is it Scottish?
I think she said she was Welsh or something.
Welsh. Okay. I enjoyed her character a lot as well. Being this woman in this male-dominated sport, trying to prove herself as a engineer. I enjoyed that journey, and she ended up building the winning car for this team. So I thought that was really cool. And even like smaller characters, like the woman who was like new to the pit crew, and like she was messing up a lot in the beginning, but then she started gaining some confidence, and she proved herself to be just as good as the other guys on the pit crew. I thought there was just a lot of good character moments in this movie.
Yep.
And that's something for me personally that like really helps me get attached to the movies, when a movie has a lot of great character moments, because I'm someone who just gets attached to the characters really easily. Yeah, I don't really have too much more to say about this movie. And the races were really enjoyable. I kind of agree with Cam about one of the races not really being necessary, but at the same time, it was nice to see Brad Pitt kind of lose his cool for a little bit, which is why he even got injured in that race. I thought the other accident that happened with Damson Idris, his character very early on in the movie, that accident, that was horrific to watch.
Yeah,
In all
yeah.
honesty, that was
crazy.
yeah. And for me, the movie was good enough to make me. I'm not going to go watch F1 in real life. I don't have that kind of money, and nor do I actually care about the sport that much. But the movie was good enough. Same thing with Gran Turismo, to make me consider wanting to act.
Right. I definitely agree with that.
Maybe if tickets to these sports were cheaper and they were like easier access for lower middle class folk to get into, maybe. But yeah, but that doesn't matter. The movies got me interested in the sport at the bare minimum, and I think that's a great thing in of itself.
Yeah, I think that, and I definitely agree with that. So that was our number 4. So moving on to our top, we're now in our top 3 officially.
One more thing, Cam. I'm sorry. I want to touch on something you said about one battle after another.
Go ahead.
Very real, but very scary. If you watch this movie post 2025, the end of the movie, events that happen at the end of the movie can feel a little scary to watch because of events that are happening currently in Minneapolis and other states in the country. Yeah.
Oh yeah. 100.
At that point, it's almost like the movie isn't even exaggerating. At that, like if you watch it, yeah.
Yeah, agree. And that's why I think movies like One Battle After Another, I think are great in calling out things, because at the time the film comes out, you kind of go like, wow, that's crazy, right? In the same similar situations to kind of The Running Man as well. Running Man is very exaggerated look on how classism and socioeconomic status is in America. And same thing with another film that we're going to be talking about that's in our top 3 as far as the state of American patriotism. Films like these are needed, and they're still good. It's still even if you are like, I just want to see a film to be entertained, they're still entertaining movies, but they're movies that if you think a little bit more about them, it's like, I see. So I definitely agree with you on that state. It is very scary. But onto our top 3, we have I am going to start with Superman. So I consider this is another film that Benos and our friend group, we went out to go see in IMAX. Great. I think this is the best superhero film that came out in 2025. A lot of people hate James Gunn all of a sudden, which is crazy, but within the past couple of years, he gave us not only what I consider one of the best live action Superman films we've gotten, but also, justifying Suicide Squad with his adaptation of that whole IP. So I don't understand where all this hate towards James Gunn came from, or even people. Obviously, grifters are going to grift because they're already doom posting what's happening when it comes to Supergirl, which got announced and she had her trailer. So we're just not going to give those bigots any attention. Don't give them any attention. Do not support them, because they are not watching the movie to enjoy films. They're watching the movie just to say movie bad cause female. And that's just bad faith. I think Superman is so good because I know it's a lot. And again, you also have the Zack Snyder loyalist who wanted to hate this film for some reason, even though you should want to support this film because it's Superman. But it was really nice to see a hopeful Superman, a Superman that is just, it's a colorful movie. There's a lot of bright characters. The aesthetics of the film are pleasing.
A Superman that smiles.
Yes, he's smiling. He's actively wanting to save people. Like, it's good to see a Superman like that. Again, I don't have any huge, big issues with Zack Snyder's interpretation of Superman. It works for a certain crowd, but at a certain point, it's like he is the man of hope. And James Gunn's Superman, he gave me hope. I just wanted to, and it was good. And I am not the biggest Superman comic book fan. He's not in my favorites, but you cannot deny his legacy and how important of a superhero he just is in general. And I think he was represented very well. I think the character and the cast were great. Lex Luthor in this film being one of the biggest haters in recent years was just a solid, absolutely fantastic performance in his regards. The Justice Gang, stupid name, but hey, it's cheesy and corny and fits the vibe. Mr. Terrific, love when we get great, proper representation of people of color, black people, and they did my king justice. He had a great scene in the film, great moments in the film. It was just great. Plot was solid, the characters were great, the action was great, and I'm looking forward to seeing more of this universe. I think that this is the first foray we're getting into how James Gunn wants to establish the DC universe under his watch, and for this to be the first indication of it, I think he did a fantastic job. So definitely deserves a spot in my top 3 list.
All right, for me, number 3 is going to be K-pop Demon Hunters. I think with that movie, there's a lot of similar, like when I was talking about Niza earlier, a lot of great animation in that movie. This movie has a really good soundtrack. In all honesty, I think it's in terms of 2025 movies, it's probably the best soundtrack of 2025 movies. Unless you're like a Wicked fan, like a big Wicked fan, I can see you saying that being better, but K-pop Demon Hunters was a really good movie. It got me. I'm not gonna go out of my way to listen to K-pop music, but it showed me what K-pop music can be, which I think is pretty cool. I have songs in that movies in my playlist, like to this day. I still sing a lot of those.
I do too.
How It's Done, that's a really good one. Soda Pop, that's another really good song. Golden, don't get me started on that one.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, like I would, like if Huntrix was a real group, I'd go see them in person. And I don't even go to concerts like that, but I'd go see them in person because I like a lot of the songs. And the Soldier Boys, that song they performed at the end, I'm sorry, I would have been one of them people walking into that flame and they would have took my soul.
It was solid. I was like, yeah, no, they singing. They was singing,
right? And look, they would have had me with that one. I'm sorry. And when boy hit that high note in the middle of the song, I damn near levitated with him. Excuse my language, but that was it was just such a surprise hit too, because I did not expect that movie to be that good, nor for me to enjoy it that much. I just expected like a really cheesy kids movie when I was getting into that movie. And I think Sony, shout out Sony, they took a massive hit on this movie, selling it to Netflix. Netflix came up, they got a bag off this movie. So
I don't know why
they should have kept this movie to themselves, because they would have made millions off this one. But yeah, that's my number 3 for the movie top 10 movies for 2025.
All right, so we're moving on to number 2, and again, definitely got to give a shout out to Beanos, because he put me on to K-pop Demon Hunters. Because again, like I said, I was like, one, I have a big bias against Netflix. I don't like them a lot, to put it nicely. But when Beanos was like, "No, I think this is a good film. You need to go see it," I was like, you know what? He's never steered me wrong, so let me go ahead and check it out. And I thoroughly enjoyed it. Again, it wasn't in my top 10 list just because, again, the type of genre of that stuff is not like, doesn't push a lot of envelopes for me personally. Yeah. But it is a solid. Again, when I went to go see Now You See Me, Now You Don't, and they had that sing-along event for K-pop Demon Hunters, none but kids dressed up as the characters of Huntrix and adults in that whole movie theater. So it's great to see that. Yeah, it's great to see that, like, the younger generations, they are getting films, they're getting stuff that, like, I look back as a kid and go, like, I remember when I had those moments going into the theater dressed up as Spider-Man or something like that. It's great to see that they have these type of experiences. So shout out to K-pop Demon Hunters for that. So again, moving on to number 2. My number 2 on this list is the Demon Slayer movie. Again, this is another film that Beanos and our friend group, we went to go see in the theaters, and I really enjoyed this one. It was I mean, Ufotable. If again, it's really hard because it definitely just depends on the type of style you like. As you're comparing this movie to Chainsaw Man, but there are just scenes. One of the particular scenes that really stand out is when Zenitsu is talking to his former master, and they're divided by this river, and you just look at the river in the anime, and I'm just like,
oh my God, that water looks so good.
Look, if they're giving you guys this much money to cook, continue to do so, because you are cooking 5-star Michelin chef meals. The animation was phenomenal. Oh my God, the fight scene between Tanjiro, Akaza, and Ginyu was so. I mean, like, genuinely, I'm just looking at the screen, going like, I can't even imagine. Like, as a kid growing up watching anime, I could not imagine like getting to a state where this is what we're seeing in terms of how studios can evolve this art form. So it's fantastic. I know we on the channel, I made a lot of you people that I call Shinobu a fraud. She still is a fraud. I'm not taking that. I'm not taking that opinion back. And I know some people go, but don't you know what she does in the next movie? I know she's still a fraud. So, again, just phenomenal movie. Great. Again, if you're gonna make me go out into theaters to see it, you got to bring your A game, and Studio Ufotable did. It does suck because now we're in a situation where we have to wait until next year to get the second part of the movie, and then 2029 to get the final part of the movie. Like, that is that I hate that. But if we're gonna get the level of quality, an increase in the level of quality of what we've been getting, I will be okay with that a little bit. It sucks that we have to wait, but like, again, Ufotable has shown and proven that they know what's up when it comes to this animation business, and especially when it comes to Demon Slayer, because they've honestly, in my opinion, because as someone who's read the manga, they have put that series on their back. They have elevated that manga into something that is truly iconic within the anime space. So it deserves that nod. I think it's the best anime movie of the year 2025, and I think it is currently, just if you're a Demon Slayer fan, it is probably the best thing you're going to see from Demon Slayer until part 2 of the Infinity Castle drops. So that's my number 2. Beanos, what's yours?
Before I get into my number 2, I know I said earlier that I did not put Demon Slayer on my top 10. I have my reasons for Demon Slayer not making my top 10. I'm gonna expand. I want to expand. I should have put it in my honorable mention. I will take credit for that. It was good enough to make that for me, but it was just. I think where I messed up is because I recently rewatched the movie on I decided to be a pirate for a little bit and rewatch the movie, and it's just like, from a replay standpoint, it is really long. It's not that good. It's really long. Like, the fights are always going to be fun to watch. Who's not going to love watching really Ufotable fight scenes and all of that? But especially the end of the movie, those last 45 minutes where it's just Akaza's backstory.
Yep. I can see that.
It drags. It really drags, and that's where that's why I have Chainsaw Man higher than that, is because Chainsaw Man is only an hour and a half, and it kind of gets straight to the point. And that's why I can even forgive the first half of Chainsaw Man, is because they're only adapting what's in the manga. I know Akaza's backstory is in the manga, but it just feels really dragged out towards the end of the movie, especially after they already beat him. So it kind of leaves you with a feeling of why should I care about him after, and he just got beat? Yeah. But it still is a phenomenal movie. I don't want to take away from it or make it sound like it's trash, because it's not. It is a really good movie. It has me hyped for the next 2 movies, and the animation can only get better with the year. So I do trust Ufotable to keep putting out this level of quality with these Demon Slayer movies. But for me, my number 2 is gonna be The Long Walk. I didn't know what to really expect from this movie. I kind of expected I'm trying to think of a movie that I can compare this to. Ready or Not or The Hunt type of vibe, where you're just going to be watching characters die, but I didn't expect to get so attached to these characters, nor did I expect this movie to be this emotional either.
Yeah.
There's a lot of like side characters, they just die. They just die so fast, and the movie doesn't give you time to process a lot of characters' deaths either. Like same with the people in the movie, they don't get time to process their friend's death or anything like that. You just kind of got to keep on walking. And I've seen a lot of critiques online about this movie from TikTok. I know I have a problem. I doom scrolling on TikTok, and I really got to ignore people on TikTok. But I see a lot of people saying, how come they just don't keep walking, or how come why did this person die, and all. It's like, or like, why are then I've seen a lot of people saying, why does this competition even exist? Y'all have to go watch the movie to see why this competition exists. Right. Like Cam said earlier, this movie is a play on patriotism in America, and don't listen to the grifters online that's trying to make it seem like this is a bad movie, because it's not. This is a phenomenal movie. I can't remember our main characters, the actors' names, and I
can't either.
I feel so bad because they did it. Like, I would honestly nominate both of them for an Oscar. I would nominate the entire Musketeer crew, actually.
So good, dude. And the kid, I wasn't expecting the kid because the Asian kid that also he was the main character of Karate Kid Legends. I didn't expect him to have so much range like that.
Me neither.
Such a great actor.
And I thought he was going to be like this one note, like just a comedic relief for the movie. And he was a lot more than that. And a lot of these, you really feel for a lot of these people, because a lot of them are entering this competition because they want to provide for their families. Because this movie takes place in a world where it doesn't specify what war, but America lost a big war. A lot of people speculate it's either World War II or the Cold War, or
it's Vietnam. I think in the book it alludes heavily to Vietnam.
Vietnam, okay. And yeah, so we lose the war, and we kind of just like, our economy just tanks really bad, and we've kind of never really recovered from that point on. It's kind of like one of those worlds. So that's why everybody in this, they're all in it for the money, and they also get like one wish. Is a wish that can be achieved. It has to be something achievable. Of course, they can't wish for like world peace. That's just not achievable.
They can't wish that the long walk be canceled.
Or they can't wish for like the long walk to be canceled. There has to be something that is achievable. Basically, a physical gift. They can get any physical gift they want, essentially. But you get really attached to these characters. I had a lot of moments where I was like crying, like not even just like one or two tears shedding down. Like I'm talking, I'm full blown crying for like not just a lot of people, especially the last 45 minutes of the movie. I was a wreck. I will be able to admit to that. I'm not too much of excuse my French, a pussy of a man to admit that I was in full blown tears watching this movie.
Oh yeah, no, I cried. I cried it.
Yeah. It was just a phenomenal movie. I knew it was gonna be good, but it's always a great feeling when a movie, even if you know it's gonna be good, does everything to blow your expectations out of the water.
Yep. Highly agree with that. So I'm cheating a little bit. So we're gonna move on to our number one. I am so indecisive that I have to cheat and say that my number one has two movies. And this is just any given day, it could be one or the other. And I to this day, I still cannot decide which movie gets the edge, because they are both phenomenal films. So just to piggyback off of Beano's, that It's the Long Walk is one of my number ones. Some of my favorite things, we have alluded to this in one of our previous podcast episodes, where sometimes the best, like when it comes to engaging in media, the ones that are the best are the ones you don't expect to be the surprise hitters. Yeah. Like you have, like I said, Ballerina, I went into that movie like John Wick. I know I'm going to like this movie. Long Walk, I saw the trailer for this movie and I was like, I think the premise is interesting. That's what drew me in. The whole walk till you die. But watching this film, it just like Bino said, blew my expectations out the water. I knew going into this film that people were gonna die. I knew that, these are the two main characters. I know at least these guys are gonna be fine for a while and everybody else is gonna die. But even still, when those moments came, it was still emotional. It was still like, I was literally like, I don't want anybody to die. Even some of the characters that were, supposed to be like the douchebag characters, like even they had their moments of like, oh, they're playing up an act. They're trying to put themselves in a situation where they can keep walking. And so when they died, it was like, dang, man. It's like every character especially within the Musketeer group, such solid brotherhood. These characters only knew each other for like less than 3 days, and you felt like they were like friends for life. It was such a emotional train. Like I'm just like, no, don't die. And it's like you have these moments of levity where people are having fun. And it's like, yes, but it's not going to last forever. That ending, oh man, so strong, so strong. Like it's one of those endings where you expect something to happen and then it just completely turns itself over the head. And it's just like, okay, all right, you got me. And I'm still crying. Like it was such. I think again, and just to go into like these films, where again, this film, like Minos mentioned and I mentioned before, this is all about American patriotism. It is all about what are you going to do for your country. The Long Walk is a representation that Americans are lazy. Maybe if you guys weren't lazy, you wouldn't have lost the war. So keep walking if you want the money, And it's just. Again, strong messaging. It's a dystopian future. Again, dealing with a lot of socioeconomic issues, and just everything surrounding the events of the story was so powerful. Like the world, the characters, even Mark Hamill's character just being this like super general man. Like you could say he's a basic character, but like he fits the narrative of the story, where he's just like, there are so many scenes where these characters are literally just outright insulting him, calling him everything under the sun. He's just like, keep walking, soldier. Like I'm
not the one walking right now.
Like it is a very powerful, emotional, character-driven film. And I think that and I look at films like this, and you can't sit up here and say to my face that 2025 was a bad year for movies. When we had films like this that come, you are being disingenuous, you are lying, and you don't watch films, you don't watch movies. I'm sorry. When we have films like The Long Walk, so that is part of my number one list. And again, just because of just how solid that movie was, I can't just put it at number 2. It has to share the slot with what, obviously, you probably know what me and Benos' other number 1 is. Sinners. It is Sinners. So I'll let you go first, Benos. Let's talk a little bit about Sinners and your enjoyment of the film and why you think it is the best film of 2025.
Oh man, Sinners, it does. I don't think it does not a single thing wrong. Same thing with The Long Walk, honestly. I don't think either one of these movies does a single thing wrong. It had me hooked from the first opening credits to all the way to the end. I know that sounds like I'm glazing and I'm exaggerating. I don't care. This movie deserves all the praise it's been getting. Michael B. Jordan does a phenomenal job playing two twins. Honestly, you could leave that movie thinking he has a secret twin in real life that we never even knew about.
Are these two different actors, or is Michael B. Jordan playing the same? I was like, but he did such a great job distinguishing himself with those roles.
The music was phenomenal. It taught me a lot about blues and the history of blues that I didn't even know about. It does a great job showing depicting that time period, in my opinion. if you want to get to like horror aspect of it, it's not really like a horror movie per se. It just has vampires in it, but that's not really. It's more like it's another movie kind of like this. I can't think of the name of it. From Dusk Till Dawn or something like that. I might be thinking of the wrong movie, but I like all of the characters. I think every single actor in this movie stepped up and performed their ass off in this movie. The guy, our main character, this was his debut movie ever. I don't even think he's acted in it. Yeah. Wow, I don't think he's acted in anything like ever outside of this movie. So that how well he did, that was really good to see, especially for his debut movie. Ryan Coogler is a phenomenal director. It sucks that Hollywood is going to continue to shaft him in all the award shows and all the tier list for best movies of whatever year is going to be. It really sucks because he is a phenomenal actor. I mean, he has a lot of great movies under his belt, from Black Panther 1 and 2, and I know a lot of people don't like 2, but 2 was still a good movie.
2 was good. I love it.
Yeah. Let's see what else. I had to pick like a standout moment in that movie. It hands down goes to the scene where Sammy is starting to sing, and then like where it's the one take scene, it slows down. You see all these different people from different generations of Black music, and you not even just Black music, because there's also Asian people in this movie, and it shows even their history with music. And you see people that fit their culture in that little scene. You see the barn burn down. It's not really burning down, but metaphorically, the barn burns down, and you see everyone is just having a really good time, and it's free from white supremacy. They're free from the discrimination, the segregation, and all the other BS they had to put up just during that time period. Yeah, they're literally losing themselves to the music. And then when stuff actually starts to go down, and obviously we all know Haley Steinfeld is the first one to get bit, turn into a vampire. And when stuff starts to go down, you feel the tension rising because you know she's been bit, and so you're wondering, when is she going to make her move in an attack? And hey, that scene with her and Michael B. Jordan, and they was in that room by themselves. I know we're gonna keep it PG here, but that was an interesting scene, to say the least. That was
There's a certain other Black voice actor that looked at that scene and was shedding tears.
There was a certain she was in a movie with someone else, and let's say he was probably watching that scene and screaming to the top of his lungs, it should have been me.
Yu-Gi-Oh! Clear. It should have been me, not him.
That movie was phenomenal, man. It was hands down the standout movie of the year. For me, I'd probably even go as far, I'm gonna make an early prediction and go as far as say top 10 movies of the 2020s in general. I would go that far.
I would agree.
It's a little bit of a slow burn when it first starts, but that's just to establish all of our characters and to establish the premise of the movie. And I think that also really pays off because it helps you get connected to these characters. And when they start dying off one by one, you really feel for them. Same thing with Long Walk. It gets a little emotional, nowhere near as emotional as Long Walk, but it gets a little emotional. And you start seeing these people you really grew attached to dying off one by one. Yeah, I'm gonna let Cam take the reins from here.
Yeah. I 100% agree. Like I said, it's hard for me to choose between Sinners and Long Walk, just because these were two films that I went in and I was just like, I'm gonna check it out. You know what I'm saying? I see Michael B. Jordan, I see Haley Steinfeld, Ryan Coogler is directing it. Let me see what's to this movie. You know what I'm saying? And it was just, I saw this movie with the funny thing is that I had to like make my mom come see the movie because I felt like this is honestly one of the movies that she would tell me to go see, but I had to like, yeah, I want to see this movie. And she enjoyed it so much, she went and saw it like twice with other people. and she has told me that it's probably her favorite movie of all time. She really loved that film, and I can see why. It is a phenomenal film. Even just if you're going in there for pure entertainment, it is, again, it has a lot of social commentary, a lot of valid and real social commentary, especially when it comes to the Black community. But from an entertainment standpoint, and I feel like that's why this movie is so clever in the whole vampire stuff, because it's just like, oh, but it has vampires and all this cool, you know, psychological horror stuff. Because it's like one of those films where like you can go see, you know, I guess turn your brain off and watch for vampire stuff. But if you see that movie and you go, but what does this actually mean, right? It's that film that makes you think more about a lot of the direction of the film. Again, what Benos brought up about the music scene, you can tell this is my barometer for whether or not I can take your opinion of this film seriously. Is that scene where the music plays? And when you watch people review the movie, just watch how they talk about that scene in particular. That's all I'm gonna say. You can tell who is really for the culture depending on how they react to that scene, because as you know, someone of my ilk, just seeing the representation not only when it comes to how Black music has or just evolved over the years, not necessarily evolved, but just from different styles and genres, how we express ourselves when it comes to dealing with things in our environment, and the way we do it through blues, through jazz, through hip hop, through house music, through all this stuff. And all of that is represented so well, not only in terms of just our culture, but Asian culture. They established Native American culture as well. Just all these different genres blending in together to just create this phenomenal set piece in this movie. And I think it was absolutely fantastic. I think a lot of the analogies you associate with the vampires and them trying to get Sammy and trying to get his gift of music to expand, also them, you know, utilizing the time period as well, was really effective. Everything in this movie is there's a specific purpose to how it was presented, and just how it culminates into this experience is not just another vampire film. It's just not a movie. Like, if you're going into this thinking about like, oh, I just want to see vampires bite people, it's a lot more than that. And that's why I think it deserves to nod as not only just one of the best movies of 2025, but one of the best movies we've gotten in a minute across the board. I think it is a great film, and I think a lot more people should see it. And if you have saw it, you know how great this movie is. So, I think it. Yeah, you probably. It's kind of this. It's funny because it's very similar to how I feel about Exhibition 33, where it's just like, there's a clear best. You know, like you just look at how things are, and there's a clear. But that's not to undermine a lot of the other movies that came out this year. Again, that's why my honorable mentions, me and Benos' honorable mention list was so long, because we saw a lot of movies in 2025. It's not just Marvel movies and superhero movies. There's a lot more across the different genres of horror, comedy, action, political comedy, you name it. There was just such great representation across the filming genre that you cannot sit up here and tell me that that 2025 was a bad film for movie. It's just that concept does not register in my head, and you're acting in bad faith, in my own humble opinion. So that's our top 10 list. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Again, this is our opinion. This is nothing that is set in stone. If your list is different, feel free to let us know in the comment section down below. Any closing thoughts that you want to add on, Benos, before we wrap everything up and end things?
Yes, only other thing I have is, I know a lot of movies I didn't talk about a lot of movies, but so much came out that I didn't want to get so long-winded. Like, movies I guess I could have thrown on my honorable mention and talked about earlier, but I didn't really want to go too much in depth with. I could have talked about Superman. I loved that movie. I loved all the Marvel movies that came out, even the Captain America movie. I thought that was a phenomenal movie. Sinners, as far as that, one more scene I want to pay homage to, not pay homage, but just give a shout out to, is the scene where Remick has like all of them outside and they're doing the they're singing that little Irish song,
the
and
Irish
that
folk
was
song,
that was a really good singing, and I had a lot of fun watching that. And you see what's his name, Cornbread, the big guy.
Yeah.
And you see him, like, he was really funny to me. I seen you just watching him in the background doing his little jig to that dance. I mean, to that song. It's so much. I could talk all day about that movie, but I don't want to get too long-winded. I want to say it felt great to finally be on the podcast, Cam, and thank you for finally inviting me on here.
Yeah, for sure. And again, you guys are going to be hearing and seeing a lot more of Beanos, not only on the movie side, because I do want to do more content on the channel, specifically focusing on movies, because we watch a lot of movies, and I like watching movies and talking about them. And then on the gaming side, because Beanos plays games. I know we have a joke, we have a meme and joke about Chris, because he's washed. But Beanos plays game. He plays a lot of games. So we definitely want to invite him onto the podcast to talk about that and even stuff on the anime side. He's a close friend of ours. He has a lot of great takes, and I had a lot of fun recording this, and hopefully you guys have a lot of fun listening to this. Again, if you stuck around for the whole thing, you a real one. I appreciate you, man. For real. And again, be sure to like and subscribe to the channel if you have not. With all that being said, guys, thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of your day. God bless. See you next time.